All right, let's shift gears now to education. Obviously, always a big challenge here in the state of the Utah with our large population of young people. We're always towards the bottom in per pupil spending. We do make up for some of that because we have so many pupils in there. But the test always seems to come down to more money, more money, more money for education. And so how are you going to, as governor, address the constant call for more money? How do we really address the core issue as it relates to funding education?
So I think one of the things that makes a great leader is allocating scarce resources. And I look at my whiteboard at Overstock and I look at the list of projects of things that we want to do, and there's never enough money, there's never enough people, there's never enough space, there's never enough time. There's scarce resources. And a good leader says, what do we do to use those resources to their best aim? With education, it has to be a top priority. But the answer can't always be more money, more money, more money, because there's not always more money, and ultimately there's a heavy burden on the taxpayers. I think we need to look at spending the money we're spending today more wisely, pushing more of it down at the classroom, taking out this layer of administration, whether it's at the state or the district level, making that layer thinner. I think we need to look to ways to get volunteers involved more frequently. I talk about we need more reading aids in first through third grade, because reading at grade level 3 by third grade is so important. And folks say, well, that's going to take a lot of money. Well, it will if we think conventionally, and we say to get aides we have to hire them and pay them. But Utah has a fantastic volunteer spirit. And if you think about the 2002 Olympics, we flocked to volunteer. We all had a purple coat if we volunteered. We wore it proudly. Having something like that where we were encouraging moms and dads, grandfathers and grandmothers to volunteer in the schools, and not just their schools, but in particular schools across town where maybe there weren't moms and dads and grandparents that could volunteer in the same numbers, and tap into that volunteer spirit. I think that's a way to improve education without necessarily saying more money, more money, more money.